And good morning, Hoosier fans, and welcome to another familiar edition of Hoosier Morning After. This is Hoosier Morning After Michigan State. I'm your host, Chad Schwartzkopf. Last night, your Indiana Hoosiers go on to lose to Michigan State Spartans, 64-58. In just about the ugliest show of basketball we've seen all year. Just poor shooting. Defense has its breakdowns here and there. At least Michigan State had some issues themselves and had some problems. But they took advantage of matchups on defense towards the end, and that ends up being the difference. And when we've had games like this, sometimes there's been maybe like one thing that's a bright spot. And the one bright spot, I guess, to take from this game is that we saw Rob at a new aggressive level that we haven't seen all year and that we've wanted to see all year. I mean, even Robbie Hummel. And again, it pains me to say, but I like when he calls games. He does a very good job calling games. Would like to hear him a lot more, especially after a lot of the ESPN games that we've had with guys calling games. But he's very insightful. But even Robbie pointed it out, saying I'm sure something to the degree of, I'm sure this is a Rob that fans have wanted to see all year. And yes, we have. I think I even said yes to Robbie while we were watching that, as I'm sure a lot of you did as well. This was the aggressive, fighting Rob, the chip on his shoulder Rob that we've seen these past 2 years and have been excited for in his final 2 years to become a seasoned vet, a leader of the team, and a guy that's aggressive and he's struggled for that this year. I don't know why. Again, I don't know why. I don't pretend to be in the practices. If it's all mental again, I've gone in depth trying to figure that out, and it's just you'll talk yourself into circles. But tonight he was aggressive. I mean, shocked us all. Going to the basket like that and trying to dunk on that guy, that was fantastic. Oh, I loved that. That got me pumped, and should have gotten all of his players pumped too. And I honestly thought that point was going to be a turning point. From the ugliness that we saw, I thought I'd see a lot more hustle and see a little bit of swagger and guys relax a little bit. And shots just weren't falling. And a team that's already so fragile shooting-wise, that can make them and has shown that they can make them this year, but is fragile when making them, it may be the moment has caught up on them. I mean, they know what is at stake. They know that they're on the outside of the tournament looking in, and that they need to win these games. So maybe that's what caused the poor shooting that we saw in this game. And an already tense team, an already fragile team, is just hit with that much more tension. And that's a shot to confidence that this shooting cannot take. And because of that, Michigan State was able to sag off of IU. And their our star player, Trace Jackson-Davis, only puts up 5 shots in this game. Gets into some weird foul trouble. The foul calling was all over the place. What was a foul, what wasn't. Again, the paint seems to be a mosh pit at some points, and then a game of don't touch me at other times. It's just unfathomable. I mean, that could also be what contributed to poor shooting and poor offense. Was it's tough to get in any sort of rhythm when there's fouls being called like crazy. And despite these things, IU was in this game, and they had a chance to win this game. At about the 2:38-minute mark in the game, IU was down by 1. They hadn't made a shot in about 2 minutes. The last shot before that was a free throw at the 4-minute mark by Al Durham. And Al gets a great look. I forgot who drove or who got in there, but kicks it out to Rob. Kicks it out to Al. Wide open three-pointer. IU's down by 1, and he airballs it. A guy that's a 40% shooter airballs in clutch time. A senior, a leader, and it misses that bad. Then Aaron Henry decided to show up and win the game for his team and goes on to score on 3 possessions, getting Michigan State up by 8 by the 45-second mark. And that's the game. That's the game right there. That was the turning point. That was when, at that point, they took over. And IU tries to hit a couple threes after that and stem it, but it's too little too late. So now we look at maybe an insurmountable chance to make this tournament. I'm not a bracketologist, but I doubt we make the tournament now. This is a very interesting spot to be in. It's a very frustrating spot to be in, and I try to ask myself questions of why this team is like this, because you feel they show moments where they can get it done, when they can shoot, when they can defend, and all the pieces have been there. They just can't bring it together all at once. And I just kind of ask myself, and ask yourself this too. And again, excuses, call it what you will. I know it's even playing field for all the other teams. They're dealing with the same situations this year and everything, but I am just speaking on IU. And ask yourself, had the year been different if fans were in the stands? And I think yes. A more fragile team like this, a team that has had troubles getting themselves going and energized at key moments during the game, some of those really close games that we've had earlier in this year. And I think a roaring Assembly Hall is the turning point. Those few moments where we could have put a team away, but then the opposing team surges back. Also, and again, I know, be what it is, everyone has to deal with it, but if everyone was healthy, ask yourself, if everyone had been healthy this year, would that have changed some of the outcomes that we've had? And we would have felt, again, 2 more wins, 3 more wins even. Some of those close games, 3 wins of those close games that we've had. And that's the difference of Indiana sitting at a probably 9-10 spot right now in the tournament. Feeling relatively comfortably in. Not falling out, not feeling in danger, but feeling fairly comfortably in. And not worried about what you have to do in the tournament. And guys feel free and maybe play a little bit better. But it's those games that, like, who for IU is the scoring threats? Who are our number one scorers? And it's Trace Jackson Davis, Armand Franklin, and Race Thompson. And in there, I didn't name a single perimeter guy that was available last night. So had Armand been in there, could it have been different? Maybe. You play a little two-man game on the side with Armand and Trayce Jackson-Davis, and Michigan State can't sag down then on Trayce Jackson-Davis like they did the whole game since IU wasn't shooting, because they have to honor Armand Franklin. That gives a lot more room for him to go to work and get more shots and get more confidence, or gets Armand open looks to make a shot or find a seam to make a drive. But instead, and again, this isn't a bash on the player overall, because the player overall I like. It's just not where he is right now and the skills that he's doing. I saw far too often the same side that Trayce Jackson-Davis was trying to post up and get into position, his wing player opposite him, or out there with him, who would normally be Armand, was Trey Galloway. And Trey has not been hitting threes. He's not a threat to shoot the ball. It's that old thing that we used to see with McBob, and Justin Smith. They could sag off of them. Then it was sagging off of them and getting on Juwan, shutting down Juwan. Now it's the same, but opposite, or the same, I should say. Same, but different players with Trayce, sagging off of Trey and clogging things for Trayce. So this next game, we need to have some fire. We need to have some urgency. And again, I with consistent guard play this year, this team is a very different team. And it's maybe my mind is playing too much Captain Hindsight right now, because I see the pieces of this team, and it's just frustrating to not be able to see all the pieces go together at once in one game and have the shooting going great, which leads to Trayce having a great game like he can. And then also on the defensive end, seeing them shutting people down. When that happens, IU's a great team. But when you can only get one thing done, last night happens. Again, still a shocker that we were in it. There was still a chance. And they just felt like they gave up. So, yeah. Any other positives to kind of talk about would be Christian Lander looking a little more comfortable, getting a few more minutes in there, taking a few more shots, getting 7 points. Beautiful assist, that long pass down to Race as he was going down. Again, and you see glimpses of the freshmen and the future of this team that can be great and are building, and they just need some improvements and some time and to grow their game and get older within the college program. And you hope that development continues, and you hope that upward trajectory continues, and that they stay strong and they fight. And I feel that fight in this freshman class. I feel that, again, the culture to this freshman class for IU, I feel like is up there. And so I feel better about their improvement year to year than what we've seen otherwise, not naming names. There was great potential elsewhere that just has had, for some reason, or another struggled this year. Jordan Geronimo got in there. He had some tough, weird calls on him, got in a little bit of foul trouble, 3 fouls, but that fake handoff was great. Good to see him handling the ball and get to the basket like that. Took a corner 3. I didn't mind it. It's in his game. I want him to still stay confident with that. And if he can hit those threes, develop his ball handling skills, he's going to be exciting to watch. He still feels just like that baby deer. Sometimes freshmen look like baby deer when they're out there. And he's kind of got that baby deer look where he's not fully comfortable yet. Doesn't have full confidence of where he needs to be and where he is and everything, but that'll come with him. Some of the foul calls are weird against him. He's just backing into his guy, blocking out, getting into position, and he gets called for a foul as he falls to the ground. I don't know. It was a tough game to watch last night, guys. It was a very tough game to watch. But we're going to learn a lot about this team on Saturday. Saturday, 2 o'clock. We go up to West Lafayette, and IU plays Purdue. We've got to see at least that fight and at least not give up. This could be good to see this aggression from Rob leading into this game, going back up near home. Everyone's kind of got a chip on him up there. So hopefully we get fired up Rob in this game and he's able to help this team get over this hump that we've got going on right now. We can find some shooting and we'll see. Purdue's doing well. But we got to get this game and we got to get probably 2 in the tournament now. Big Ten tournament. So keep the faith, Hoosier fans. We'll figure this out. That'll do it on this edition of Hoosier Morning After. Please like and subscribe. Hit that thumbs up on this video. Follow me on Twitter at General Chadwick. There you can find out information about the show. I'll be back at it again Sunday morning after the Purdue game. Special thanks to Bob Thompson for producing the music here on this show. Until then, go out there, guys. Have a wonderful day. And go Hoosiers.